The Donkey Kong Country series is well known for its incredible level design, music, and atmosphere. It's my second favorite of all Nintendo franchises, even beating out most of the 3D Marios. So today, I'm going to be ranking the 5 of these games, from worst to best. Number 5 is Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, released for the Super Nintendo. Look, as much as I love this franchise, not all these games are perfect. And, of course, one of them is going to have to rank at the bottom, no matter the quality. And that game ended up being DKC3. This game isn't at all bad. It definitely has some nice tunes to it. They aren't anything catchy, not nearly as much as the first two DKCs, but they're pretty nice. The game certainly looks quite nice, probably the best of the best looking of the three Donkey Kong countries released for the Super Nintendo, as the graphics were pretty advanced and it was the newest of them, releasing in 1996. But I wasn't a big fan of Kiddy Kong. He felt kind of weighty, and while he certainly is no bad character, I just didn't really enjoy him compared to the other Kongs as much. But the real problem in this game is the levels themselves just aren't that memorable. Sure, some of them have a giant buzzsaw coming to chop you up while you're in a tree, and others have you climbing on the ropes on a cliffside, but they just aren't that memorable, and the same goes for the music. The atmosphere isn't too bad, but when two of the three most well-known parts about the DKC franchise just aren't that great here, of course, it's gonna have to rank at the bottom. Sorry, guys. Number 4 is the original Donkey Kong Country, the first game released in 1994 for the Super Nintendo. After about a decade or so of inactivity from DK, Nintendo decided to bring him back for the Super Nintendo, and here he is an incredible 2D platformer. Well, I'll be honest, incredible is definitely stretching it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good game with a lot of awesome ideas, such as an incredible soundtrack, including some of the best songs in video game history, like DK Island Sling, Simon Sague, Bonus Room Blitz, Treetop Rock, Fear Factory, and Aquatic Ambience especially. And some of these levels are pretty unique, for example, the minecart levels and the tree levels and the factory ones. But unfortunately, the game only has 40 levels, and the secrets aren't anything too exciting. This is the only game in the original trilogy that I actually completely finished, but that was only because there wasn't too much to do. It's not at all a bad game, just like DKC3. They're both great, but unfortunately, the game hasn't exactly stood the test of time, at least compared to the other ones. It's a very influential platformer, one of the best of the Super Nintendo, and surely Nintendo and all the platformers wouldn't be the same without it. But it's gotta be number 4. Number 3 is definitely gonna anger some people, but it's gonna have to go to Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. This is one of the most beloved games of all time, and certainly the most beloved of all the DKCs, and I'll explain why. The design in this game is simply awesome. You have some really memorable themes in here, including pirates, volcanoes, bayous, castles, forests that are haunted with ghosts, roller coasters, beehives, and of course the bramble mazes. The soundtrack is incredible too. Forest Interlude, In a Snowbound Land, Mining Melancholy, and of course, I'm legally obligated to say it, Stickerbush Symphony. These songs are very beloved, and the same goes for the levels themselves. You also have K. Rool here, who has one of the best fights in the series. He's no longer King K. Rool, but Captain K. Rool. He also has a great song too, Crocodile Cacophony. So, yeah, I do really like the music in this game, and the design, and the problem is, I just don't really see it as better as compared to the later games. Those later games really do a lot of things awesome, and they improve upon a lot of the original. I just wasn't a big fan of the game's difficulty sometimes. It kind of felt cheap. And although Dixie Kong and Diddy Kong make an incredible pair and I love using them, there's just something about this game that I just don't enjoy compared to the later ones. However, it's still a fantastic platformer, and I definitely recommend that you check it out. Number 2 is Donkey Kong Country Returns, released for the Wii. This game released in 2010, so about 14 years after the last game, DKC3. It was Retro Studios who brought it back instead of Rare, and Retro did a fantastic job here. First of all, the soundtrack in this game is incredible. You have a bunch of cool remix songs from DKC1, but you have some new songs, including Mole Patrol, a really nice remix of Aquatic Ambience that, although doesn't sound a lot like the original, still very nice, Palm Tree Groove, and Mind Menace, my favorite video game song of all time. Very catchy. The level design here is a blast too. Sure, a lot of the themes are repeated from previous games, like a jungle, a cave, the ruins, the forest, and a volcano, but there are definitely some really unique levels in this game. Some of them include Muncher Marathon, where you're being chased by a bunch of spiders, Tidal Terror, where you have to look out for a bunch of tsunamis during a thunderstorm, and Music Madness, where you can fly into the air when the hammers hit the ground, and it goes along with the music too. It's an incredible game, and it even introduces some new level types, such as silhouette levels, which are just beautiful, I should say, and the Rocket Bear levels, which are very challenging. A lot of people didn't like them, but I certainly did. I love them. The waggle control is annoying sometimes, but it's rarely annoying to me. The Tiki Tak tribe, sure, they're no Kremlings, but they're still fun enemies, and I do enjoy them. Not a big fan of the bosses, but hey, none of the bosses in DKC were that great. But it is a fantastic game. And moving on to number 1, it's gotta be Tropical Freeze, the latest game released for the Wii U and the Switch. This game, it's just phenomenal. It is incredible level design. You get so many memorable levels like Busted Bayou, where everything is a silhouette in a forest, or bayou, of course. And you have that sweet jazz music by David Wise, who, speaking of which, returned for this game. Sawmill Through, where you're traveling through a sawmill while avoiding a bunch of the chopped up pieces of wood that the sawmill is throwing at you with its many gears. You can also even hop on the track pieces, and the song's very great here too, and ride on a piece of wood. Another memorable level that I really like is Grassland Groove, where you dance along to an African savanna with the sunrise. It's a very wonderful game with incredible songs. Some of my favorites, well, original-wise, would probably have to be Horn Top Hop, which is very catchy. A lot of the boss themes, they're just that nice. Funky Waters, which is just really nice. Homecoming Hijinks is definitely a tearjerker, and the same I'd have to say about Frozen Frenzy. It's an excellent game, and it improves upon everything DKCR started. You can even play as Cranky Kong this time around. Yeah, this game is incredible, along with the rest of the DKC franchise. Do you agree? Check it out in the comments below. Tell me. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.